Sound. From the beginner to the professional, from starting as a student to becoming a master, from playing and mixing things up and experimenting to creating a masterpiece. These are all the elements of art, and the art on this show is sound. Hi, I'm L.V. Smith of Sounds Within, a sound magazine, how we talk about how sound has influence or how people influence others with sound. So today, I'm so glad to come back to the music realm because it's been great doing other things in other music worlds and things. And if it's not music, it's talking about business. It's talking about people in professions where they have to talk or use sound to motivate people or to not so much control, but to influence. So it's good to come back to the music realm, which has been a long time. And what better way to have two individuals whom I'm going to introduce today. And I found this one particular artist through his nephew who loves, well, I was helping the nephew in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now the nephew's helping me in such a short period of time. But he told me about his uncle who was into music. So I go, oh, okay. But it turns out he's a producer of all things. So I'm speaking of Mr. Richard Hanna, and I also have a guest who was part of a filmmaking group, and she talked about singing. I said, oh, okay, anyone could sing. I mean, I crow. And turns out she's a real first-class singer, an underappreciated singer. And I'll tell you how great she is. She brings a cappella to a new level. A cappella is okay, but she really brings the appreciation of a cappella singing with no instruments. So our guests today are Mr. Richard Hanna and Miss Aletha Brown. Welcome aboard. And I'm going to do a stretch shake from you. Yeah. Welcome aboard. So great to have you here.
Glad to be here.
I am really stoked. Well, I'm going to begin with my usual set of questions. And people say, well, these are deep. I don't think they're deep, but I'm going to ask them anyway. So we're going to begin first. I'm going to begin traditionally with ladies first. The first question, what makes Aletha Aletha?
Tone.
Why does tone make Aletha?
Tones, because I used to listen to music, and it was all about different instruments. And you hear the sounds and the tones and the vibration. And it's like, it was like listening to your mom and dad. You knew when they were serious, you knew when they were playing because of different tones.
Wow. That is a unique answer. I'm glad I asked that question. Now let's bring the same question to you, Richard. What makes Richard Richard?
Music makes Richard Richard. I am a music child, being the son of a guitarist, my dad, and a vocalist, my mother. Extraordinary. And I've heard this music ever since I was an infant. And it was about me being me with the music. It made me very happy, and I like the way music transcends because it's universal.
That's great. Now we're going to switch the role because you kind of brought in my second question. And that question is, I would like for you to espouse upon this. What was the very first sound that made you aware of sound?
Of sound, it would be my mother's voice.
Why would you say that?
I recognized my mother's voice when I heard a song when I was in her womb, and I understood the melodies that were going on, and I heard these songs before, and I asked my mother, I said, Mom, I've heard these songs before, and I asked her, I said, when you were pregnant with me, were you working, were you singing? And she said, yes, I was gigging all the time, and it was those lullabies that put me to sleep, and when she got on to those up-tempo songs, I was kicking in her belly.
Oh my God.
So I was dancing to the music at a very early age.
Not too many people can say that they were aware of sound before they were in this realm of life. But you have that.
That happened to me, and there was always music around the house. Wow. We played the stereo or the hi-fi back in the old days.
Yes, it was hi-fi to our ears.
You know, so it was always music around the house, and that was very much a part of me.
Wow. Okay, Aletha, we're going to bring this one to you. what was the very first sound that really caught your ear? Does that have to be musical? Whatever sound it was, what was it that drew
The
your
guitar.
ear? The guitar.
The bass, the first guitar I heard really captured me was from Antonio Carlos Jobim.
Jobim.
And I just was so overwhelmed with the music and his guitar just, you know, I did not understand the music at all. I mean, the lyrics, because the lyrics was in Spanish or Portuguese.
Right, right.
But it didn't matter.
Right.
You just was melting just by the guitar. Just
so you were
playing.
called by that guitar.
Yes. Yes,
and it presented to you that music is a language, not so much words, but music itself is a language.
Yes, it's all about fusing it. I have my English and then I have my Spanish, and when I do sing, and when I do write, I like to mix it. I don't know what it is, but I like to add the Spanish and English and just fuse it, and it just, I don't know, this does something to me. Ever since I was a little kid, I just love to listen to all types of music. Ballet, it doesn't matter. Music is music.
I understand
And
that.
if you can hear the cowbell, the drums, you can actually put music to even just one instrument. And that's
Yes.
what I was doing since I was a kid.
Now, you mentioned that you you heard the music in Spanish, you didn't understand it.
I did not know.
And you pretty much, you sing in Spanish.
Yes, I do.
Wow. And you know what, we're going to come near to a break, but what is your background?
My background, I'm a jazz.
Now,
I'm a
have
jazz
you
singer.
come from a Hispanic background or anything?
No, well, I'm from back east. I grew up melting pot, you know, and it's just a cultural thing that you hear on the radio. Everyone's around you, and you don't think of, you know, color or nothing. You're just learning from each other. We're seasoned. So everybody says, I need seasoning for this and seasoning for that. Well, wait, hold up. We're all seasoned.
Wow.
Yes.
Can we have something from you in a song, let's say, in Spanish?
Sure.
And
I
what will
wrote
you
a
be?
song
What will you
called
sing?
Esta es mi noche. This is my night.
Wow. Okay, folks, we're going to hear Miss Aletha Johnson sing This Is My Night.
Los tabeles se imponen bien, tu piel es suave y me siento rapidado. Esta noche, what tú sabes, me está volviéndome loca. Presión de todos, me ahora, siénteme temblar, estoy despierto toda la noche, baby. Esta es mi noche. Esta es mi noche. Esta es mi noche. Volviéndome loca. La vida no es un hueco. A veces hay dolor. Somos fuertes, lado, patanísimo, adórame, abridado. Mira tu cara radiante, a veces se borró. Pregúntame cómo tú estás aquí, baby, 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 presión de todos. En media hora, siénteme temblar, estoy despierto toda la noche, volviéndome loca. Esta es mi noche. Esta es mi noche. Esta es mi noche. Volviéndome loca. Esta es mi noche. Esta es mi noche. Esta es mi noche. Volviéndome loca. Yeah. Sometimes there's pain in life. A veces hay dolor. A veces hay dolor. Lots of pain. A veces hay dolor. A veces hay dolor. Esta es mi noche. Esta es mi noche. Esta es mi noche. Volviéndome loca. He's driving me out of my mind. Volviéndome loca. Volviéndome mente. He's driving me out of my mind. Volviéndome mente. Volviéndome mente.
Wow, that was smoking. That was really smoking,
Thank you.
Aletha. I mean,
Awesome girl.
to really bring it home, I'm going to be up front. That's smooth jazz, right?
Yes.
Closer
Mixed
to
with
world music / smooth jazz.
R&B.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. Smooth jazz is really nice and it's a very hot commercial product, but I tend to come from the side where I prefer edge. But I feel edge in the way you sing.
Thank you.
Especially when you hear something done in a different language, you can feel a stronger current because it forces you to listen and feel the vibe, and you brought that home
Thank
and
you.
brought it like a home run. Thank you, thank you. Now I'm gonna go back to Brother Richard here. Now, what do you do today with sound in whatever you do in business, be it in construction or in producing? What do you do?
Well, with music now, over the years, I put it all together. I'm a rhythm man. I like percussion instruments.
Yes.
You know, I love classical music. I love orchestration. And now, having to be a songwriter, lyrically, in my mind, I can do the arrangements now for the horns, the strings, the guitar, the rhythm, you know. And I didn't have that capability when I was younger, but that came with a lot of listening, a lot of playing music, and I was in a group before out of Philadelphia.
Now tell us about your group.
That group was called the Afterglow.
Afterglow.
The Afterglow back. There was an R&B pop group that I was part of.
Wow.
And I had some very good friends. One friend of mine is here in Los Angeles. His name is John Hart, my bass guitar player. And that's the one I hope to have you meet because he has all kinds of guitars, and I hope to have you in the studio, you know, to see.
Wow.
And to do some things. So
yes.
it evolved. The music with me really evolved to where I'm at today. And it wasn't that I had to do it for money. I love music. Music is a very big part of my life, you know, and it just transcends, and that's what keeps me going too.
Wow.
The spirit of music.
I got to announce to the audience this. We're about to embark upon a collaboration with Sounds Within with Brother Richie Hanner here, because we're going to be bringing in some guests and things, and it's going to be on a regular basis. So you stay tuned for future collaborations with Richie Hanner and myself. But you go back, how far back?
How far do you want me to go back?
I mean, so did you make any MP3s back then, or?
We actually did a 45.
45?
45?
Now wait a minute, what is a 45?
This is a 45.
That's a 45?
Yes.
Explain that. I mean, I'm giving away my age, but there are a lot of young folks that never heard that right now.
Right.
Even, there's no more cassettes.
No more cassettes. This is my very first record that I produced.
And a record meant a recording done on that.
Yes.
Before MP3s,
right?
before CDs,
Right.
before cassettes.
Right.
That was it.
It was on what we call wax.
Wax.
Back then, and this is what they played on the jukebox.
A jukebox. What is a jukebox?
Jukebox is a big record player that you use. You pay money and you can hear the selection that you want. But this particular record came upon when the group dispersed. I still had that monkey on my back to produce a record. A good friend of mine, a friend of Rick James, financed it for me, and then it was produced and manufactured in Canada, recorded in Atlantic City, New Jersey, but produced and manufactured out of Canada. And the title track on this was called Shine On by the artist Mike Wilson.
We're going to have to bring that up sometimes to hear that. We just got to have that.
They don't make these no more.
I don't know, because right now with the samplers and scratchers, the DJs tend to bring things out.
I see.
But I would not chance them on an original copy of my 45. I would have to have it mastered.
I know they gave my age away, didn't it? I did this when I was a teenager, by the way.
That's scary.
Yeah.
You were a teenager when you were a producer.
Right, because we couldn't get a deal. You know, people were not listening to us.
Right.
So you had to dig down deep and really put the resources together and, you know, do the recordings yourself, you know, to get it out there. And it made a little bit of noise in Atlantic City and in Philadelphia.
Wow. And the good thing back then for that was no pirating.
No pirating.
Right.
Not at all.
You had to buy it. You had
to buy it, and I had the records back in my trunk of my car, the 45s, for distribution.
How many 45s did you have?
We put out initially about 5,000, you know, and they sold.
They sold, just like that.
They sold.
Wow.
And what was really appealing to me was that a lady in a particular nightclub, she played the record over and over until it became the #1.
Bless her. Do you have her name?
I don't have her name, but she was a nurse. I do remember that. And I went to the car and I got a copy and I autographed it for her and gave it to her. I really appreciated her because she appreciated the work.
Give credit where due.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing that, Richie. Now, when we come back, we're going to be with Miss Aletha Johnson, and she's going to share about how she uses sound to move with her. So you stay tuned while we listen to what track now?
I Wish You Love.
Yeah, bring it on.
No use leaving without you. This is where my story ends. Never lovers, ever friends. Goodbye. Let our hearts call it a day. But before you walk away, I sincerely want to say, I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your heart a song to sing and then a kiss. But more than this, I wish you love. And in some lately glade. I wish you health and more than wealth. I wish you love. My breaking heart, I'm free. You and I could never be. So with my best, my very best, I'll set you free. I wish you shelters from the storm, a cozy fire to keep me warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love.
I wish you love by Miss Aletha Johnson. Thank you for bringing us some real love in the house. That is smoking. It's not often you can really, as an a cappella singer, really capture people with energy and vibrancy. Oh, now let's get back to that question that we were asking Richie, but we're now going to bring it to you. Okay. And we already saw part of it, so now you get to explain it. How do you use sound for what you do, be it in a profession or your hobby or your pursuit? What do you do with sound?
When I hear an instrument, it could be just even a clock ticking, I can write. And I'll just put down a melody, and I need a bridge first, so I start with my bridges.
What do you mean by a bridge?
Well, when I write a song, like, say, a quick one. Come with me, it will be you with me tonight. And it's my day, a special day. That's my bridge. I'll keep it's my day. And I'll just keep adding words on and on. What do you mean it's my day? How do I feel today? How did I feel, and between the night and the dawn and the day?
So your bridge is more like a mantra.
Yes, it leads me to finishing out my songs, my lyrics.
Sort of like what we hear in the old church, the preacher just come back to that main theme and just keep pounding upon it until you just sing along with them. So when you go home, it's still cycling, and then you espouse upon it there.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Now, how did that come about there with writing?
Well, my brothers used to tell me to listen to the radio and listen to different songs. I had one brother used to say, listen to the bebop, the doo-wops. And I had another brother used to say, listen to the jazz. And he, and I'm like, okay. So I ended up listening to jazz mostly, didn't know why. And then all of a sudden I started hearing other songs like Carlos, Jobim. And that's when when I was young, I started saying, I would hear Ella Fitzgerald scatting, wild, or like Natalie Cole, wild, 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 whoa, scubba-dubba-doo-ya, scubba-dubba-doo-ya, scubba-dubba-doo-ya. So I started mixing scat words and language, Spanish, English, and just fusing it all. And I just couldn't stop. And I was like 8, 9, 10.
Wow.
I used to have my little radio, and you guys sleep? Yeah, I'm asleep. And it was just latched to my ear.
Yes.
And I just changed all different channels, just listen, and that's when.
So you could not stay in one realm. You could not stay in one realm. You had to have, as you were saying, more seasoning. More seasoning.
Yeah.
Which is something, another story we'll get to another day from another gentleman. But I love the way you brought seasoning. You triggered something when you said that.
Yeah.
Now, we might as well go to the next question there. Tools of the trade for what you do.
Ink pen.
Ink
Paper.
Paper. Do you mean those traditional things of the past?
Still, I have to have it on me because I could be riding with someone and all of a sudden a tune would come, and I can't let it go, and I'll just scat with it, and I have to have it on me at all times.
So instead of pulling out your phone and singing in it, you writing it down, old school, feeling the earth, organic.
Yeah, it's the same.
Organic.
I cannot let it go.
Yes.
It's passion.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, but it's my passion.
No apologies here. No apologies on this.
And I always heard ink and paper
Ink and
is
tree.
legal, and it cannot be changed. So
Ink and tree.
I love it.
Yes.
Well, even if it were to be, quote, illegal, somehow we always will keep it legal. That organic thing, which is missing in so much entertainment today, organic, feeling, living. Yeah. Now we're going to bring that to you, tools.
Tools?
Now, be it trade and building a building or whatever.
Tools, basically pen and pencil, 2 phones. When I have a melody, I have a lyric, I'll call my other phone, record it, because I'm on the road traveling. I'll capture it that way. And old school was, we used one of those Pasonics, you know. And a very good friend of mine by the name of Jimmy Grant, he wrote a song called I'll Only Stop Just to Start All Over Again by Blue Magic from my hometown. Well, Jimmy wrote that song based on that Pasonic recorder. He stopped just to start it back over again, and that's how that song evolved. So I still record, I write, because if I don't record it, put it down, it goes wherever songs go when they go there.
You're right.
You're right.
Right.
So I have to capture it because I don't know when it's going to come back again. I'll be trying to remember it, like, what was that lyric? You know, what was that beat? What was that rhythm? Gone. So you have to, when it's inspired and it's sent to you, you have to capture it and use your tools.
That's right.
You know, and repetition.
Wow.
Over and over.
This, you know, I only had interview less than half of my regular questions because you have one guest. But we were so blessed. We just met today, and I just said, I cannot have one guest this time. Why don't you asked, could you both come on together? What a blessing that was.
Amen.
What a a blessing. So we're gonna wrap this show up. So tune in again, and we will have our guests again, Brother Richie Hanner and Ms. Aletha Johnson, and we're gonna bring the next episode of LA Philly Fresh Flash together. Have a great day. Peace.
Peace.
So we get to just chat along because they're going to kill the mic. So while we just carry a conversation and talk about.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Ooh, fill my heart with soul. Let me sing forevermore. You are that I long for, I worship and adore.